Now, the main thing in winning more matches is getting your feeding right. Now, if you can get your feeding right, you're on to a winner. Now, it's not saying that you're going to win every match you fish, but it will get the maximum out of your peg to try and win matches. Everyone wants to win matches. When you fish a competition, everyone wants first place to win a match. The most important thing, though, is catching fish. And the main thing in catching fish is getting your bait presentation spot on, or as spot on as you can. And some of the products we bring out help you do this. Now, many matches now that I fish are on commercials. And while I brought Bob along as well, he fishes a place called Cross Drove. Now, most commercials start off as just a hole in the ground. No features, nothing to them. And depending which way the wind blows is sometimes where the fish go, unless there's an island. And a lot of commercials have islands put in. And many commercials have islands put in that you can reach by the pole. And the hardest thing in feeding is putting bait where you're fishing. And with these pots that you can fit on your pole, you can feed directly below your float, especially up to islands and bankside vegetation, or even in open water where you can keep your bait tight. The most important thing also is feeding more than one line. Now, I've seen many anglers in matches and been out with many people fishing. They start fishing, start on one line, start catching, stick with that, and the most important thing is they're not feeding anywhere else. I'll just say, oh, you're catching, yeah, and then the fish dry up. The most important thing is always having 2 or 3 lines on the go, whether you're fishing that line or not. Especially on a lot of commercials now where you're feeding one line and you might only catch on that line the last part of the match. You won't catch on one line at the start, but you're feeding that, you're priming that spot ready for when you're going to go down and catch there. And it may be halfway through the match, it may be the last hour. But in enabling you to win more matches, you must have that line, you must be feeding that line. That if you're feeding against an island on the pole and you're not feeding another line, once those fish dry up, you've got nowhere to go. So you've always got to have somewhere to go. And some anglers may find it hard feeding another line, concentrating that while they're fishing and catching, always remembering to put a bit of bait in on another line. That's why when you buy a pole now, you get 2, 3, 4, 6, 7 top kits with it. And that's so you can have different elastics set up, or the same setup. So you can have the same elastic set up with different rigs for one swim that you might have 3 lines going. So you'll need 3 top kits, 4 with a cupping kit as well. It's very important to keep more than one line being fed. I know come winter time, the winter we've had has been terrible. And you can go to a match, not feed nothing at all, and win a match. You can catch £100 a carp without feeding anything. Certain situations, that's normally when it's cold. But in normal situations, you must always have 2 or maybe 3 lines on the go. And one of them lines you may not even fish because there's no need. But there is if you don't catch on those other 2. And sometimes on a red letter day, you'll go out on one line and just keep catching. But it's very important to feed more than one line.